did not just throw them on the bed. They're all stacked very nicely in my cabinet right here. That's where they all go. Okay. But when I took them out and put them on the bed, obviously walking around the bed shakes and they all tumbled over. Not harsh or anything like that, but it is what it is. So, without further ado, let's see first what my least favorite palettes are, because I have some that I do not like. I probably won't use one of them because of how awful they were. So give me 1 second. This I got during Christmas, Black Friday sale or Cyber Monday sale. It comes with 2 palettes. This is my #1 least palette. Well, maybe not this one because I didn't use this one. But I used the other one that comes with it. So, this one. This is the one that I used that I really did not like at all. Now, it looks gorgeous. It looks pretty. But, man, it did not work on me at all. Like, the shimmers didn't work the way I wanted it to. The neutral colors were just... They didn't even show up on my skin at all. So, I was really excited for these palettes because I've always wanted to try an Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, but I was very, very disappointed. But this is just gorgeous packaging though. Like, I love glitter. So it's going to be really hard for me to part with this, but I think I'm going to sell it. So, hey, if you're interested, hit me up. This is one palette I haven't even used yet, honestly, because it doesn't really excite me, the colors. I think I got this in my Bossy charm or Ipsy, I can't remember. But I have never used it. The packaging is great, it's sturdy. The colors look pretty, but like, I have all these colors. I don't want any more of these. So that was just something that I got in Bossy or Ipsy. So I've used both of these a few times, and I just was disappointed in these. These did not perform as well as I had hoped. And, you know, I got it because this was actually one of my first palettes that I ever bought besides BH Cosmetics. Probably my first expensive palette that I ever bought, legit. And it was because it was pastel goth that sold me, the whole goth part right here. And then this, it was also a Black Friday or Cyber Monday deal that I got. This palette right here, I don't have any opinions on it because I haven't used it yet. I got this to go with my wedding makeup. However, I changed my wedding makeup look to Christmas colors, and obviously it's not really Christmassy, so I didn't use it. And so I have a few Urban Decay palettes. I have this one, I have this one, and I have this one. Okay, so I got this one right here, the wired. I got that because the packaging just looked really cool. Unfortunately, that's all that's cool about it, is just the packaging. The color payoff does not work for me. I used it a few times to try to get a feel for it, and I just like, nope, I've got other palettes with the same colors that work a lot better. This palette was a huge letdown. Huge letdown. The packaging is freaking gorgeous. Have to admit, that's also why I got this. And I watched some videos before it was released of makeup looks that people did with it. And I was just like, yes, this is going to be an awesome palette. Maybe I need to play with it some more. I haven't touched this blue color yet, so I probably should play with that a little bit. But again, it didn't wow me at all. So now the only palette that I didn't buy is this one. This one, my best friend bought it for me. My best friend, my sister. Now, I got this one after the other two that I had bought. So I was a little scared that I wasn't going to like it. However, surprise, surprise, I love this palette. That being said, this will be a palette coming with me to Cedar Point for sure. Like, the packaging is gorgeous and it doesn't disappoint. The payoff is beautiful and I love purple and my hair's purple, so it'll play well with purple hair. So for the sake of time, we're going to put the ones that I decide to keep right here on my bed pillar. Okay, so if you watched any of my previous videos, I talked about this particular palette right here. It's Morphe X Nikita. Y'all, I freaking love this palette. This palette is gorgeous. I love the glitters in it. And this one right here is an amazing glitter. Oh my God. They're all just so nice. So beautiful. And you guessed it. This is coming to Toledo, Ohio with me when I go to work at Cedar Point. 100%. 2 palettes down, 8 to go. And we're going to meet number 3 that's coming with me. And obviously this one's coming with me because I love Lisa Frank. And it's another Morphe palette. It's 35B, but it's a remake. Or redesign, I should say. This is a redesign because 35B had already come out. But they redesigned the palette to be Lisa Frank themed. And I didn't buy the palette before this, but as soon as Lisa Frank was like, hey, let's do this. Yeah, I jumped on it. I bought this palette. And I bought the brushes. Now, the brushes that came with it, I don't use them like ever. I used them once and the bristles were so flimsy. They didn't hold product. They just were not good for me. I did not like them. I don't like using them at all. One I do use, I guess, is the face contour brush to do my cheek bronzing. But just look at these colors. These are beautiful. B-E-A, beautiful. Yes, so this is another palette coming with me to Toledo. I think out of all the palettes that I purchased last year, this was the one that I wanted the longest and waited almost the entire year since it released. I waited until Cyber Monday to get this. Okay, so Cyber Monday was when the best deal came along. And I've used this palette quite a bit, but I always put it back into its case because it's just so cute. So cute. Everyone meet palette number 4. That's coming with me to Toledo. Okay, and there's that lovely mirror that comes with it. And oh my God, can you just see how awesome this is? Now, I've used this a lot, but you can't really tell that I've used it. You can on that one. You could see some fingerprints in there. But like, oh, this palette is so gorgeous. Now, I'm not gonna lie. These are the colors that I kind of thought would be in the Lisa Frank palette. But the Lisa Frank palette has more neutral, calm colors, I guess you could say. But this one, oh my gosh, I love this one so much. So, yep, palette number 4 coming to Toledo. Right there. So cute. It's in an oven. That is a freaking oven. Now I'm looking through, trying to decide what... Oh, I found one. I found one. This, y'all, number 5. By the way, these are not in order of favorites by any means. I'll do that at the end of the video. I'll put them in the order. I'm just naming them off as I find them because there's clearly so many to go through. Okay, so here we go. This beauty was worth every penny. Let me tell you, I was so happy to get this. I have always wanted a Huda Beauty palette. This is one that I've always wanted. I actually want them all from Huda Beauty. Just, oh my gosh, these matte colors are so pigmented. They're just gorgeous. I can't even stop talking about it. But yes, this is definitely coming with me to Toledo. Woohoo! So one of my favorite palettes has to be by Juvia's Place. These, I got all these about the same time. In like 2 weeks time. I did 2 different orders and got a bunch of these. I love this one. I've been using this one a lot lately. The colors are just gorgeous. But I think the palette that I've decided to take with me is the Zulu Palette. These colors are gorgeous. As you can see, I like colors. I will not stray away from using bright colors. I am just a very colorful person, and I love doing my eye makeup. So if I'm going to do something that I love, why not use something that I love? Bright colors, and the packaging is just gorgeous. So we are 6 palettes in. We got 4 more to go. Alright, so here's one that's coming with me. This is definitely high on my favorites list. This is Cotton Candy by Bossy Girl. And this palette I used for like 3 weeks straight because I loved it so much. Look at all of that glitter. Oh my gosh. Hi. This palette is gorgeous. Look at that. That's actual hollow glitter. And it is beautiful. It is my favorite glitter to use. I don't know if you could tell. I've used it a lot. But yes. Again, I used this for 3 weeks straight. And there's so much product in these pans that you can't really even tell. Like, and now I want to use it again today. So I might do a look later today with this palette. Because, it's just so gorgeous. Alright, so I have to give BH Cosmetics a shout out. I own almost every single palette they have made as of January 1st this year, I should say, because I have not purchased any makeup palettes with the exception of the Manic Panic Classic High Voltage Baked Eyeshadow Palette. That's the only one that I bought this year. I'm trying to save money, but look at this. This is just so awesome. But wait till you see inside. Again with the glitters. Y'all know I love glitter. Bright colors. These are just gorgeous. So I have to take a BH Cosmetics palette with me because they are... Were they? Yes, they were the very first palette that I ever bought. And actually, I can show you the palettes. The first 2 palettes that I bought from them, I made an order. Okay. There's another one. Here it is. Supernova. So Supernova right here. These were the first 3 palettes that I got. I don't use this palette anymore because it's over a year old. And yeah, I don't know if the quality of the makeup would be amazing as it was when I first got it. And I used it a lot, but you can't really tell, so maybe I didn't use it that much. I don't know. But these are gorgeous freaking colors. They're metallic and they're perfect. They are amazing. So if they still sell it, I don't even know if they still sell it. I definitely recommend getting this. And if they do still sell it, I'm probably going to get it again. All right. And I don't even see these on their site anymore. The 120 color palette eyeshadow. I got it because of that, and it was so cheap. And I loved these. But, give me a second. Lift it up and you get these colors. They're just so gorgeous. I don't think, yeah, so they both come out, but there's nothing else in there. They both come out. I did use these a lot. You can see some of them are pretty flat in the purple row. I use purple and pink a lot more than any other color because purple and pink are my favorite colors. I don't use these anymore, and I'm kind of glad I don't now, because when I first got this, it smelled great, but with it being open right now, it kind of has a funky smell to it. So I definitely don't use these anymore, but I just wanted to show off that I still had my very first palettes that I ever bought. Then we got this one. You can tell I used it a lot because there's powder everywhere. So I didn't use it as much as I used my Supernova. Let me see something. Yeah, so there was a lot of fallout with this one. So I didn't use it as much, but I did still use it. I just think the colors are gorgeous again, all metallic and beautiful. So those were the first 3 palettes that I ever purchased and got me hooked onto doing makeup. So you can blame BH Cosmetics for my addiction. It's their fault. But no hate, not saying it in a bad way. I love it, and I think it's a perfect company to start with because their makeup is not expensive, and for a beginner, they're perfect. And yeah, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't start with BH Cosmetics. Alright, so these palettes are not going in my top 10, but I needed to give a shout out to Zulu Beauty because her palettes are beautiful. And very pigmented, and the glitter's amazing, and that blue is holographic. I don't think the rest of them are, but that blue is holographic. I haven't used the blue yet because it's just so pretty, but I love this palette. And I also have her Intergalactic palette, and these are a little on the expensive side for makeup, but not as expensive as Huda Beauty. Their colors are gorgeous. Look at that, the iridescent shades. You can clearly see that I've used those a lot. This is one of my go-to palettes for fun colors and glitters, but they're not gonna go in my top 10. I have 2 left to figure out, and I think I'm gonna pull one from ColourPop and Carity. Carity is the second company that I've ever bought makeup from, and ColourPop is a third makeup company that I ever bought from. ColourPop has so many palettes, and I have almost all of those as well, except for anything new that had come out in the last probably 4 months. So yeah, give me a second while I decide which of those I'm going to take. Alright, so here's 3 of my Carity palettes, and only one of these is going with me. Can you guess which one? So this one is the Picante palette, and it is gorgeous. I used it a lot. Absolutely love it. I have been wanting a red palette for a while, and that's why I picked this one up. I was disappointed that there wasn't an actual red in there, but I was okay with it once I started using it because these maroony reds look amazing on me. Now there's this one, the Nudes and Rudes palette. I haven't used it at all. Not once. Not once. I actually forgot I had this palette. Now I bought it just a few months ago, so it's not old and it's safe to use. But I haven't used it yet. So I have no idea how it plays out. And then we have our matte palette with a bunch of bold, bright colors. And you can tell I've used it. I do love this palette. It's beautiful. This mimics the palette from the Morphe 35B, the Lisa Frank palette. So I'm not going to choose this one. This one's not coming with me. The one that's coming with me is my Nudes and Rudes palette. I am taking a lot of glitters and a lot of colors, but I think for simple looks, I should probably take this with me. I think it'd be smart to take it with me and use it. And then I can give a review on it. But I have a feeling the review is going to be amazing anyway because all of Charity palettes are amazing. All right. There's no palette here. That's because it's sitting right off screen. Last, but certainly not least, the palette that I'm taking with me has to be, of course, my Baby Yoda palette. This palette is gorgeous. The greens look very good on my brown eyes. The golds, the browns, it just all looks fantastic on my eyes. So, yeah, I love Baby Yoda. Huge fanatic, if you couldn't tell. I got my big old pillow, got my blankie. I'm in the 10 that I picked, but we're going to go in order of my favorites out of those. All right, I have them set up. So, top 10, number 10 is, it has to be this one because I haven't used it yet. So it only makes sense that this one will be my top 10. So, maybe it'll make a real top 10 at the end of the season in October. So we'll see. All right, number 9, I have no problem with it being high on the list because it's out of almost 200 palettes, it's number 9. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with putting my Baby Yoda palette at number 9. Okay, Midnight Festival by BH Cosmetics. Yeah, number 8 out of almost 200. It's a fantastic palette, and I can't wait to use this as well. Number 7, I have to put this one down there because so many of the other palettes I love just as much, maybe a little more. So I had to put this one on there. Really the sell for this one is the Lisa Frank, not necessarily the makeup. Even though the makeup is great, it's just, I have colors everywhere. All right, and number 6 on the list is my Naked palette, the Purple Ultraviolet. Hey, I can't read backwards. Urban Decay Ultraviolet. That Y next to it threw me off. So yes, Urban Decay Purple Ultraviolet. This one is number 6. Number 5 is my Zulu Palette. I love this palette and it deserves to be number 5. Number 4, Miss Nikita, her palette is my number 4 palette. Number 3, my Glam Light Cake palette. I love this palette so much. The packaging is cute, the makeup is amazing, everything about it is amazing. All right, number 2, I love this palette so much. Like, I'm totally going to use it in just a few minutes after this video is done. Maybe I'll make a video. I don't know. Who knows? Ha. So yes, this is my number 2. And of course that means Mercury Ultra Retrograde is my number 1 palette. And I absolutely love this palette. It is worth every penny and I'm going to get a lot of use out of it this summer. So stay tuned for that. All right. This has been Josie Jade signing off. There it is. Every palette very nicely put in there by size. Josie Jade back again. Forgot to say, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit like on this video if you like what you saw. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I don't have a setup. I do everything, you know, just amateurly, I guess. So if you like and subscribe and I get a lot of viewers and things like that, I'll think about investing into better products to use for videos and things like that. So thanks. Josie Jade signing off.